Hey, what's going on, guys? So in today's video I'm just going to be showing you how to create videos. So this is going to be quite a long tutorial because I'm going to show you how I create my videos, how I edit them, how I record them, how I make commentaries, and how I render them, and also inserting overlays into the editing process in Sony Vegas. So the first thing I'm going to go over is OBS Multiplatform for recording. So just to get OBS Multiplatform, just type in OBS and it will take you to, the search, and then go to obsproject.com and then go to where it says get OBS Multiplatform, and then whatever operating system you're running, click on that. So I'm running 7, 8 or 10, so I'm running 10, so I can just click that one and then you can install it, but it depends for what you have as your current OS. So to change the settings, just go to the settings button down here. I did make a video like yesterday at the time of recording this, so yeah, I mean, I'm just going to do this anyway because why not? I'm just going to show you everything I do. So the language is English. It depends what language you are, what you want it set as. And the theme, that's up to you. I don't have it at default. That's like the normal OBS. I have it as dark because I like it like that. Although white or default looks quite nice as well. The text is a lot clearer, but when I say clearer, I mean like more crisp. But on dark, there's a different contrast, so it's a lot easier to see. Stuff like that. Stream, I don't actually do streams, so I just ignore that. The output, just go to the recording tab and then set your recorded path. Make sure this output mode is advanced, by the way. The recorded path is where you want to record it to, so where you want your destination folder to be. Generate file name without space, I have that unchecked because I don't even know how you can rename it, because like when you browse for it, you have to select the folder. It doesn't allow you to make a name or anything, so I'm not exactly sure about that, but it might just mean for the date, because if you leave it as blank, which I do, it would just have the name as the date when you recorded it. So yeah, I'm not sure about that, but I just leave it like that anyway because that's not too much of a deal. That's not actually anything. That's not a bad thing anyway. The recorded format, make sure that's MP4. That's most compatible for YouTube and most editing software such as Sony Vegas, which is what I'm going to be using. And the audio track, this is if you want to record your microphone into a different track similar to your system sounds, which will be 1. And to pick them down here, just go on that. But to actually pick the microphone and stuff, you need to select it in the audio tab. I'll get onto that in a minute. So back in the output tab, the rescale, or the encoder, sorry, have that at X264. Have the rescale output, just have that unchecked, unless you want to downscale it, but that's in the video tab, so I just leave it unchecked. But even though it was unchecked, I just set it to mine anyway, just so nothing goes wrong. Well, that's not the case. Custom mute settings, however you pronounce that, don't have anything in there. Have the bitrate as 1000 and use custom buffer size, have that checked. Buffer size is 0 and the keyframe interval is 0 as well. Use CBR, have that unchecked. CRF is 15 and the CPU usage preset. The lower it is, I think the smoother the video will be, but the higher up it will be, the more detail there will be and the better the quality. I'm not 100% sure about that, but that's what I think anyway. So I just have it as super fast. Default is very fast, but I just have it as super fast because that always works for me. Profile, just set that to high and the tune is none. Not sure exactly what that does. Variable frame rate, have that unchecked. And the X264 options, separated by space, don't have anything in there. So as I was saying, in the audio tab, just let the sample rate is 48 kHz. The channels as stereo, so it comes out both the sides, not just in the middle. Or at least I think that's how it works. So just have it as stereo. And in the desktop audio device, just let your speakers, so in the recording, say you change the volume, like that. Hopefully that didn't hurt your ears. Then you take that in the recording if that's what is down here. So basically what's in here, you just want to have in this desktop audio device up there. And the desktop audio device too, that's if you want 2 speakers, I have that as disabled. This doesn't literally mean you need speakers, it just means what your sound is to your computer, as I said down here. So not necessarily actual speakers in real life, which you probably know, but I'm just saying. The microphone audio device, have that disabled unless you want to record your audio, which I'll get onto later. And if you have such as a Yeti stereo microphone, and you have say like VoiceMeeter, which I'll get onto later in the commentary section, which is coming up next, then it would have the VoiceMeeter output. But yeah, so just select that if you have it. The microphone audio device is disabled, and unless you want 2 of them, that's what I was saying about the tracks. And the microphone audio device 3, as if you want a 3rd one, or actually, yeah, a 3rd one. So I just have that disabled. In the video tab, you have the renderer as Direct3D 11. But if on your video it's either black or it's just showing the desktop as an image when you record it, then you might want to change it, the renderer in the video tab, because I accidentally changed it to OpenGL and I wonder why it was doing that. So then, as I was going through the settings to change something, I realised that I might as well change it back, and that seemed to fix the problem. So the video adapter, that's just, that's not there for me. If it is for you, which it might be, I'm not sure, then I assume, because it says video adapter, it come up with something like AMD or Nvidia, it depends what you have. I'm not sure about that though, so I just leave it how it is. The base canvas resolution is what your monitor is at the moment. So to find that out, I can't do it from there, so I have to minimize it. Just go to the desktop, right click, and screen resolution for Windows 8.1 and under. But for Windows 10, it's display settings. Then go to advanced display settings, which would be, it would have the resolution in Windows 8.1 and lower, I assume anyway, unless they update it. And basically, what you have right now is what you want to put in there. So I have 9020 by 1080, which is recommended. So I can just go back out of that now, and there we go. I was just going on my other monitor because it minimized it, but yeah. So the output scaled resolution, that's just if you want it as say 1280 by 720, which would be 720p. Basically the height, which is the last number, 1080 is 1080p. So yeah, if you want to downscale it to a lower quality, then just change it to whatever you want, but I just keep it the same anyway. Downscale filter is Bibikit, however you pronounce that. No, I don't even want to try pronouncing that. Sharpen scaling 16 samples. Have common FPS values, make sure that's the, you selected that. Have that at 60 frames per second. And in the hotkeys tab, that's what you want to use to start recording and stop. So don't think if I press F4 it won't record anything, because they're both set to that. I was thinking it might do that, so I had it separate before. But then I realised that I could try just that, and then I found out that when I press F4, if I set them both to that, it would start. And the next time I press F4, it would stop. And the desktop, you can have a switch to scene and desktop audio, mute and unmute and stuff like that, but I don't mess around with that. And it's not that hard. It's quite obvious what you would do there. So the audio buffering time, have that at 1000. Video color format is MV12. The YUV color space, I keep saying YVU, I have that as 709. And the YUV color range is partial. Have the stream delay as disabled, so don't have enable checked. Duration, that should be unchecked, but I'm not sure. Just set that to 20 seconds if it's not. Preserve cutoff point, have that checked. And the audio automatically reconnect, have that enabled, and the retry delay is 10 seconds and the maximum retry is 20. Now what you want to do is just go ahead and select or click OK, and there your settings are set to go. And you can have a profile up here in the profile tab, but that's grayed out for me because I'm recording right now. And if you see yes, don't think you're recording unless you're in OBS with the preview. Then in OBS Multiplatform, it's always like that. So yeah, in the normal OBS, which I assume you're not on, it would just be you have to start the preview or record. But on here, you can only do record. And where it says start streaming, that's just recording. It doesn't literally mean stream to Twitch or something. So just right click the scenes in the scenes box and then add. Type in the scene name, and then once you're in that scene, just add a source. If you want to capture a game, then set that to game capture and select your window. And if you want it as your monitor, which I'm doing, have that display capture. You can also name that what you want and have the mouse cursor if you want to. And I think there's also another option. There are probably a few other options, but I'm not sure. So yeah, I just leave it as that. So that was the settings for recording. So there we go, there we have it. So the next thing is commentaries. So what I use for my commentaries is 1 Audacity, 2 VoiceMeeter, and I don't use this, but I need it installed for VoiceMeeter to work. And that's virtual audio cable. Just search that up. There might be a link in the description for all those. So I just launch up my Audacity, which is already loaded up, and also VoiceMeeter, and you can just let your microphone here, make sure it's plugged in first. If you plug it in after you launch the program, just go out and back in again, and then it should work unless you got something messed up. And if you record and you're wondering why it keeps fading out and you can't hear anything, if you go too far away from your microphone, I had this problem, but I managed to fix it by, I noticed that audibility, however you pronounce it, I had that 3, so just change it to 0, and that worked. That fixed the problem. So just let your speakers here and your virtual audio cable, that's why you need it, that's the virtual input. The hardware out is virtual cable, and you can have my settings, but I'm not going to put those in the description because, yeah, you can just copy these down. It's not that hard to do that, and I'm not exactly sure where they are or whatever. But anyway, so yeah, once you got that, you can just mess around with this. It depends on your microphone really. So yeah, it's up to you. So to record my commentaries, I just have speakers up here and my VoiceMeeter output, have that, and the channels is stereo. And then to start recording, I just click the record button, which is this red circle in. It's just this basically, as you can see. So before you record, or when you record, to wait for 5 seconds, and then you can start speaking or clicking to get into your game and stuff like that. But yeah, so I'm just gonna click this and record my commentary. So I'm just gonna say something random because I don't know what to say, so it might not even make sense. But anyway, so yeah, I'm just gonna try it now. So hopefully you'd recognise the difference between not having the settings and with having the settings. Like I said, that probably didn't make sense, but yeah, I'm just going to listen to that. So hopefully you'd recognise the difference between not having the settings and with having the settings. And I nearly forgot to mention that if you have a Blue Yeti microphone, this is what I have. At the back, have the mode at the, I just got to go behind it. Have it is like the circle with just like a gap in, not in the middle, but like on the edge. That's cardioid mode, I think. But yeah, you might not have heard me when I went behind that. One, because I started speaking and it only records in front of it. So yeah, I just recorded that. So make sure you have it as that, and just change your gain. But the volume, I got confused with this. There's a headphone icon next to it, so that's just basically for your headphones if you plug it in at the bottom. So yeah, I just mess around with the gain to adjust the audio, the volume settings, or you can just right click on the speakers, go to recording devices, and if that comes up, just do no. And then VoiceMeeter output, because I use that, I'm going to go in that, but if you don't, just select your Blue Yeti or whatever in there and then adjust the levels. And I always had this problem where I had to restart to actually be able to change the microphone volume, or it's just at 0. But luckily with VoiceMeeter, didn't necessarily fix the problem, but it hasn't happened with that. So I just change the VoiceMeeter output and wave in volume to whatever you want, or whatever I want, because I said I do that. But anyway, so yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and listen to this. You might not hear it, and I probably won't. Yeah, I can't hear that. So basically that's just background noise. That's why you wanted to wait for 5 seconds. And the effect, just go to effect, select the background noise. Make sure you don't like breathe or anything into it, or that might mess your commentary up. Just go to effect and then noise removal for lower than 2.0.7. If you have higher, just do noise reduction. And in noise reduction, it won't have attack/decay time, and you might not even be able to have these settings, but I'm not sure about that. So just go ahead and click Get Noise Profile and then select all of it. It basically just tells Audacity that that's what the background noise is and tries its best to get rid of that in the whole commentary, which is why you're selecting all of it. So just go back to noise removal, or you could just do repeat, but it won't actually get the noise profile again, it would actually get rid of it, or try its best to. So just have the settings at 24, have the sensitivity at 0, have the frequency smoothing at 150, the attack/decay time is 0.15. Make sure you have the noise remove and not isolate, because that might do the opposite. Not sure, but yeah, so basically removes just gets rid of it, if there is any. So hopefully if it sounds weird, there might have been like robot-y or something, then there might have been you breathing or just you speaking in the commentary. And if you say clicked in this, it may sound like that's all robotic-y or whatever. I don't even know. Yeah, don't worry, that hopefully you won't do it in the commentary if it's just clicking or with your keyboard, although that might sound like it. But I'm not sure about that. So don't get rid of it yet, because we're going to sync it up in Sony Vegas, but I might not get onto that. But I'm just going to go back to effect, and then this time go to compressor. Just copy these settings and then click OK. Make sure you have the first box checked and not the second one. And the threshold, that just depends on how loud you want it. So just do OK, and as you see, compressor basically just makes it a bit louder or quieter if it was too loud. So hopefully I couldn't press play then, and that hurt my ears. So that didn't make it sound any different, it's just a bit louder, that's really it. So go back to effect and then equalization this time, and select the curve as bass boost. If you have a deep voice, you might want to lower it. If you have a higher pitched voice, then you want to higher it, but I should leave it as this. But yeah, so I can just go ahead and just have these settings and do OK, which is default. Not OK, I mean the settings. And I'll just listen to this. So hopefully you'll, and as you can hear, there was a bit of like a pop there, and I'll try my best to get rid of that, but it might not work though. But I'm gonna get a pop filter soon, so if you have, say, a Blue Yeti, you might want to get a pop filter for that. The difference between not having the settings and with having the settings. I also do effect in Sony Vegas, but that's just one. So this time go back to equalization in the effect tab, and this time select treble boost, and then it would basically just give it a bit more presence, a bit more treble. So hopefully, or give it treble rather. So hopefully, I can't hear the pop really anymore. So hopefully, well actually I don't know how I heard it before because I can't even hear it now, but whatever. So hopefully you'd recognise the difference between, well actually I might have been listening to that bit, I'm not sure though. So just go ahead and select it all again, and then go to normalise. Have these settings which I think is default. That did not make sense. Go back to effect and then hard limiter this time, and type in whatever you want to. Basically hard limiter just gets rid of, like, it cuts off the top or the bottom bit, or both, if it's like spiking down there. So it depends on how much you want to cut off. So I just have it as -4 decibels, the wet level as 1 and the residue level as 0, and then OK. So hopefully you'd recognise the difference. That definitely sounds a lot better. And I just go back to normalise again and do that just so it makes it the right volume. Hopefully you'd recognise the difference between not having the settings and with having the settings. So that was the commentary after doing all the effects. So I'm just going to go ahead and do file and then export. Don't worry about saving it as a project, because if you save it as if you export it, basically it doesn't really change anything, it just loads up the same. So there's not really much of a point. There's not that much. No, it's not really a point in saving it as a project. I can't figure out what to say then. So I just go to my documents, which is where I have my folder, how to create videos, which I'm just going to have all this stuff in. So I have my commentary as this. So just name that commentary. and then OK. And then I can just go out of that, and as I said, you don't need to save it as a project, but you can just to be safe anyway. So now I just do no, and then go out of that. So the next thing is editing. So I just go ahead and go into Sony Vegas, and this version is Sony Vegas Pro 13. You might have an older or newer version. So yeah, it might be different for you. But it should be similar if you have 12, because I'm not sure if there's that many more features, but I'm not sure about that. So I'm not going to do much editing. So yeah, so I'm just going to go ahead and click on, in the Project Media tab, this Import Media button. Click that, and then I'll just get my intro and just drag that in. And then I'll get my video, which I recorded earlier with OBS Multiplatform. I'll import that. There we go. And I'm not going to mess around with like fades or anything yet. I'm just going to import it all before that. I'll drag in my commentary, which doesn't really fit the video, so I was just saying about the effects, but yeah, it doesn't really matter how it sounds because I'm not actually going to upload this. Yeah, I'm going to upload this video, but not the edited video I'm going to be doing. So the output, that's just where I'm going to be rendering it. And you can have an overlay, but you can just search that up on the web. I don't have time to do that, so yeah, I'm not going to do that. So I'll just go ahead and do cancel. And as you can see, well actually, I just remembered I've actually just quickly made a video or an intro earlier, just editing my later one. I just felt like editing it because I thought it would be, I just thought it was a good idea. So I just made, oh actually, I don't know where the folder is. Oh right, I didn't name it properly. So basically I just extended the intro. Probably not going to use this, but I just did it anyway. So I just drag that in, and then just do Control A and Control click on these two, so it doesn't affect those, or I won't be able to drag these. And I just add a fade in quickly, so it doesn't just suddenly go on from black. It actually has a fade in. So there we go. I just need to make it a bit quieter. So we have my intro, so I'm just going to do a fade into my video. And not my commentary, but you can if you want to. So now you can just get rid of the background noise you selected, so you don't need that. I'm not going to get onto how to sync it up, but basically when you record your commentary, just start recording in OBS or whatever at the same time, so it syncs up. Unless you just record it with OBS, unless you do that, then you have to do that. Because if you don't, then if you do it in that, then it's fine. So hopefully you'd recognise the difference between. So as I said, I'm just going to add an effect here. So just click on this green icon, and I just let my vocals preset. So just copy down these settings. I'm just going to show you them. You could pause the video if necessary. And that was a lot of bass, which is the first one, so I might just reduce that a bit and see how that sounds. So hopefully you'd recognise the difference. Make that a bit quieter. In the settings and with having the settings. So we go. I can just get. Well, I was going to say I can get rid of some of this. I'll just make it a bit quicker because why not? Make it go really fast motion. Not having the settings and with having. I'm really fast at typing there. I'm joking. And now I can do a fade out as well, the video. With having the settings. So it was just my fade out there, and then you can add an outro if you want to. Same process with the fades and stuff like that. So I was thinking of doing something else. I forgot what it was for a minute then. Well, you can add a vignette if that's how you pronounce it. But I'm not going to do that. You can just basically. I think you might be able to make one in here, but you can just search up transparent vignette. However you pronounce it, I'm not sure. Surely you know how to spell it, but whatever. So I think it might be at the top. I'm not sure though. It might not be. Yeah, elliptical, transparent to black. So I can just drag that on. And that, as you can see, adds a bit much. So I just make that a bit. I'll just have a bit less of that. And as you can see, it adds a bit of gradient around it. A bit like that. So I just have that. You don't always want to do that, but I'm just doing it anyway. So once you've edited your video, this was just basic editing because that's really all I do. Sometimes I can do colour curves. I can drag that on and make that a bit lighter and then that a bit darker. I usually don't do that, but yeah, I'm just doing it this time because why not? I'm just showing you how to do it. And I nearly forgot, I'm just going to add some music quickly. So I'm not sure what to use here, so I'm just going to use just what comes to my mind first. So I just have this song because that's really what I could think of. And just say you cut it to where you want it. And yeah, and just have that playing and then have that finishing where it is. Just so it's not having this. There's a background music. It's called background music for a reason. You can hear it in the background, but you can still hear your voice and stuff like that and your speakers. So it's not overpowering it, which is not background noise. That's just background music. Sorry, that's just music. Really, that's it. So that's good for music videos, but not for background music in videos. So hopefully you'd recognise the difference between not having this setting. And that isn't very smooth, but if I change it to say draft auto, which is the worst quality, you can't see it, but that's just a preview. You can see that's a lot faster. It's a lot smoother rather. So I'm just going to go ahead and just show you my project settings. So just copy these down. Just go back to this if you didn't catch it. And remember, you can pause it if you want to and name it what you want and then click the save button. And then I'll go out of that. I'll double click this so it selects all of it. If you want to have a specific bit, just select it manually. And then I just go over my template. So just go to main concept, C/AAC, make sure show favorites only is unchecked. And then go to internet HD 1080p. And then just copy these settings down. So make sure you have exactly my settings. You might want to mess around with the bitrate. I'm not going to get onto that. The higher up it is, the better the quality will be, but the longer it will take to render. So I just have this. Just go to the system tab and then click check CPU or GPU. And for me it says OpenCL is available. So I can just select that in here, which apparently makes rendering faster. Well, not. I don't think it does all the time, but I'm not sure. Enable progressive download, have that checked. And the audio, just copy these down. And the project, just set the video render quality to best. You can name your template to whatever you want and then save. And just select your video here and select what you want to name. Just choose what you want to name it. And then render. So hopefully you enjoyed this tutorial, hopefully it helped you. If you did, then smash that like button and hopefully you can create very good videos. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time and goodbye.